Hello soulmates, I'm Precious. Welcome to another free interesting tutorial. So today I'll be teaching us how to make a balloon sleeve with drapes and to give it an illusion of a double puff sleeve as well. So for you to do that, you need to know how to draft your basic sleeve. So I'm working with a miniature pattern. Okay, so this is the basic sleeve I've drafted. Make sure you draft your basic sleeve, add your necessary seam allowances, half-inch round and 1-inch here. So when you're done, you also need organza. You'll be needing organza of 3 yards to do this because we'll be doubling it. You need a matching thread and of course hand needle. So if you don't like to work with your needle and thread, so this illustration, I'm not sure you'll be able to get it right. So without saying much, let's jump right into our tutorial. Alright, so the next step for you to take is to open up your sleeve. Mind you, this should be a long sleeve. Remember I said it's just a small pattern. From the sleeve cap, you come down by 13 inches. That 13 inches is from your, the length of the sleeve length from your sleeve cap to your elbow. So you can mark the line or you notch it down. So when you're done with that, you keep it aside. The next thing you want to do is put your organza on fold into 4 places. Okay, you want to be sure that it is equal. So your organza should be on fold into 4 places, just like so. So your whole 3 yards, yes, because we want it to be doubled, not just single. Okay, so my organza is on fold, and then I'm assuming that this is a long sleeve. Okay, so I'm going to place it right here like so. So after placing it like so, the next step for us to do is to come in with our rulers, okay, and do a straight line like this. Can you see? So when you mark the straight line, okay, I just wanted it to be bold, you'll be cutting on the straight line. So it means for 2 sleeves you'll be cutting 2. Okay, so I've cut one here if I were making 2, but for illustration purpose, that's why I'm using the small sleeve. So assuming it's your long sleeve pattern, okay, you need a lot of the fabric. That's why I said long sleeve. Long sleeve should be about 24 inches. This should be about 24 inches. Okay, so ladies, I'm going to cut it out now and we'll continue. Alright, so when you cut it out, this is what it should look like. This now is our new center front, so I'm going to notch it down. And the next thing we'll do is we need our needle and thread. Alright, so my needle and thread on the hem area, I'm just using it to run like loose stitches. I prefer to use my needle and thread for gathers. You can see when you pull it out, this is what you should have. So when I'm done, I'll show you what it looks like. Alright ladies, so by the time you're done drawing your gathers, it should look like so. Now before we draw the gathers on this upper part, what we will do now is go to the sewing machine and we'll join this part together. Now I'm going to be joining it directly. This is the right side of my fabric. Remember I said come down by 13 inches. So it means this part I will flip it this way. You see? You flip it and sew it down like so. Can you see? So we'll sew it this way. So by the time we flip it over, the rough edges will be inside. So I'll sew it down and show you what it looks like. So mate, I've sewn it down. You can see it looks beautiful, and that's the advantage you have when you use your hand to draw your gathers. Okay, so the next thing we'll do now is to run the gathers on the sleeve cap. Okay, so I'll repeat the same process because I need it to have that puffy illusion. So I'm going to run my gathers with my needle and thread. Now when I'm done, I'll show you. Alright ladies, so I'm done. You can see I've pinned it to the upper part. I've drawn the gathers. So what I will do is I love to pin it down because there's a little bit of twist I did by this side, okay, and I want you to know it as well. So I'm pinning the sides down now. So when you're done pinning the sides, the next thing you do, you want to pin, you should have notched the center front. Remember we notched it, so center front should match up with center front as well. So at this point you can now choose how you want to direct the fullness. And even though you can also leave it like this too, but you know, I just didn't want it to be the usual kind of sleeve, you know, so I decided to add a twist, and that is what I'm showing you. Now for my twist, what I did is this. It's just a personal something, you know, you can just adopt the method as well. I pleated the sides so that it can relax, okay? So it's not all bulky at the side. I don't like it when it's too full by the sides. So just, you can pleat it the way I'm pleating it is by choice. You see? So I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other side as well. So for the pleating of the sides, I want to emphasize more on it. You can actually do it like in any form you like. Like if you noticed on this side, I just pleated a little bit and I'm allowing the excess come down. Okay, so you can pleat, you can do yours this way, and you can also pleat yours like everything to be up like I did this one, but I think I prefer it when some of it are down. That's actually how I made mine. You know, when you're sewing, you just have the right to do, you know, whatever kind of design that comes into you or inspiration that you get at that point. So what we'll do next now is to go to the sewing machine. I'm going to sew this down and sew this part down as well. Then I'll show you how to finish off your sleeve with French seams. Ladies, I'm done sewing the sides. Now here is where the trick comes in for the whole thing. Now you want to look for the midpoints. Can you see the midpoints? And then tack. Can you see the way I'm tacking it? Bring it, if you can zoom in. You know, you do the same gather thing I told you. So at this point it's a little bit tricky because you know the organza is filled up, like it's thick now, double layers. So I'm going to tack the middle, and when I'm done I'll show you what to do next. Alright, so I've tacked it. So it's not compulsory you start tacking from one end to the other. You can leave like 3 inches gap before you start tacking. So you draw it, can you see? So when you draw it together, the next thing you do is when you have them together, you want to make sure it's flat. So you try to arrange the puff and see. So this is just what I did. You know, you can just come up with your own kind of design. So I'm passing the needle back because I really want this part as well to be together. Now that I have it all sewn together, I would now put, you can twist it. Remember, this is a miniature one, so when you're making a bigger one, it will be easier. You can twist it. So I'm just going to give it a little twist. Just I've twisted it to the way I want it, and then I would put the needle down to the back of the fabric and bring it out again. So that fabric is what will hold the twist down for me, so you can see. So the fabric is what's holding it down. At the same time, you're making sure it is laying flat. So the next thing we'll do now is to go and sew the sides on the machine. So I'm just going to explain it to you right now. So after you've locked it, you've done this, you want to secure your thread. Remember, when you're making it on a very large scale, it's going to be much bigger than this, okay? So you want to secure your thread and then cut out. So when you've done this, what you do to achieve a French finishing is this is the right side, so you put it on fold into 2 like so, and then you sew it down on 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. When you sew it down, I'll flip it over and show you what to do next. For French finishing, you need to sew the right sides closed, then you flip it over. Now remember, you've sewn like 0.25, that's 1/4 inch of the seam allowances. So you need to take note of the seam allowances you have left. So let's assume I added 1 inch, so I've taken 1/4 inch, so I'll be left to 0.75. So what I'll do right now is I'll try to move out the puff or the bulkiness of the organza away from my main sleeve and sew down my 0.75, and we're done. Alright, so you can see now that we're done with it. This is what it looks like. This is the wrong side, so you can finish any lace sleeve like this or any kind of sleeve, even Ankara sleeve. So I'm just going to turn it back. You know, that gives you a perfect finishing for your sleeve. And you can see our beautiful sleeve is ready. You see this part, this is what I like to achieve here. I want it to be as flat as possible. And of course, by the time you attach it to your your dress. It's going to give you the puffy illusion that we want. Okay ladies, so that's it for this tutorial. I hope to see your practicals. And precious, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like, your comments, welcome.